All right, everybody, we're live right out here in Miami, Florida, and we're at the Hard Rock Stadium, the home of the Miami Dolphins. Now, I'm known to be the history man, and just to show you that when I started out with the Houston Oilers and Mr. Lamar Hunt, when they started the American Football League in 1960, and it only cost somewhere around $15,000 to get a franchise because Mr. Hunt and them was trying to start this American Football League because most of these people who wanted an NFL franchise like Miami, they would not be able to get a franchise with the NFL, so they went on and joined the AFL. And that's Mr. Joe Robbie. And Joe Robbie was an attorney. And he seen that Miami was also real strong in football because of all the University of Florida and also the University of Miami. So Florida had always been a football state. And they needed an NFL franchise, or a professional franchise, because the NFL wouldn't give them a franchise here in 1966 when Mr. Joe Robbie came out here and started the Miami Dolphins. And when he started the Miami Dolphins in 1966, now let me remind you, that's Mr. Hunt started this league now. And in the league at that time, when I worked, was the Houston Oilers, the Dallas Texans that moved out to Kansas City, Mr. Hunt's team, also the Denver Broncos, and the New York Titans, who moved out of New York and moved to New Jersey and became the New York Jets, and the Oakland Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Those was the original, and the Buffalo Bill, Mr. Ralph Wilson. Because when it all boiled down, before they franchised in with the NFL and consolidated and started the ALC, did number 3 owners survive in the American Football League? And that's Mr. Lamar Hunt, Mr. Bud Adams, and Mr. Ralph Wilson over there at Buffalo. But we're talking about the history of the Miami Dolphins and Mr. Joe Robbie when he came out here in 1966, and Mr. Hunt and them granted him a franchise out here in the American Football League. And he needed something to spur up Miami. So he went to Don Shula after Don Shula had lost Super Bowl III in 1969 when they lost to the New York Jets. The Baltimore Colts felt like they didn't need Shula no more because he embarrassed the NFL by losing to an AFL team. But Mr. Joe Robbie came and asked him and guaranteed him twice the salary of what the Blumenfield was playing Don Shula over there in Baltimore. So Don Shula came out here and started coaching this team in 1969. And what can I say about the Miami Dolphins? The 1972 Miami Dolphins, undefeated, still the only NFL team that came out with a winning Super Bowl record of 17-0. This is where it's at. But when Mr. Robbie came out here and got Don Shula from the Baltimore coach, and Don Shula knew how to coach, and he started recruiting these guys, and he went in the NFL and got Paul Warfield, and he drafted other good players from Florida and also from Miami, Florida, and also from Florida State. And they got into Larry Zunker, Joe Kick, and the experienced guy they had was Paul Warfield, who had played for the Browns. He was one of the only experienced guys that played in the NFL. The rest of these guys that was under undefeated team, they all came out of the AFL, which was the new league, because they did not go into the NFC or the NFL until they started conferences. But Mr. Robbie came out here and brought professional football to the whole state of Florida. And when that 1972 Miami Dolphins went undefeated, the state of Florida was on the map, and still on the map. That's why I'm so grateful to be out here. And now they have changed and moved the stadium out from Joe Robbins Stadium to Hard Rock Stadium. But the name and the franchise of the Miami Dolphins is still alive today, and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that they got somebody out of 5th Ward, Xavier Howard. And I have done so much work for Xavier Howard because he had let me come out there to Phyllis Wheatley and video his camp that he give every summer out there in 5th Ward. That's Xavier Howard, number 25, which is the highest paid cornerback in the NFL, right here in Miami. 5th Ward, Houston, Texas, be proud. Phyllis Wheatley, be proud. Because we got somebody here in Miami, and that's Xavier Howard. And that's one reason why I'm out here doing this video, because I want to thank Xavier and all of his staff that go out there every summer out there in 5th Ward and do a training camp, not only for Phyllis Wheatley, but for the whole city of Houston. That's what I love about Xavier Howard, number 25 of the Miami Dolphins. Play right out here at Hard Rock Stadium. And like I say, the Miami Dolphins and the history of Miami Dolphins came in the AFL. They was not an original NFL team. And when they merged in, they took all the AFL teams and consolidated them and made them an AFC conference. And all the original NFL teams, they went on and made them the NFC. But to balance it out, the NFL gave up 2 franchises, which was the Baltimore Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers, to balance the conference out, so it would be evenly balanced. And that would be the beginning of the conference. And wasn't the beginning of the Super Bowl? No. Because the AFL won the first 2 Super Bowls. The NFL, let me backtrack that back. The NFL won the first 2 Super Bowls. And that's the reason why they are the NFL today, because Vince Lombardi saved them by his 2 victories over the 2 AFL champions at that time. The first one was the Kansas City Chiefs, and the second one was the Oakland Raiders. Vince Lombardi saved the NFL from being an AFL. That's the reason why they got a trophy called Vince Lombardi. That's the reason why everybody worked so hard to put their hands on that Vince Lombardi trophy. And I'm so thankful to be out here in Hard Rock Stadium, out here in Miami, Florida. Thank you, Facebook family. Thank you.